Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi,
You are
everybody.
probably more surprised than we are that we are here in live today. We have been all over the place, driving around, collecting dreams from people on Facebook and YouTube, and actually driving the car out in the Phoenix area, collecting dreams and talking to people today. So we wanted to share with you, because people are asking, what in the world is Oola? They stop us when we get to a red light and they say, hey, they roll down their windows and they say, what are you guys doing with stickers all over your car? You have this Oola Volkswagen Dream Bug, and it has stickers that are all over it, all kinds of different colors. They look like this. And they have dreams and goals that people have placed on there and that they would like to see happen. You can talk for a minute, Darla.
It's very fun driving. We call our Oola Dream Bug Passion. Her name is Passion, and it is an honor to carry around dreams. Some of you may forget to dream, and so that's why we're bringing this to you live. We're so excited. So I went to a third grade class recently, which is Colette Pickard's class. She's one of our Oola coaches. Love you, Colette. And she invited her. She's teaching third graders about Oola, you guys, because it's so great to dream. She needed them to have their reading goals. And so the first time I went to the school, they put their reading goals on the car. And if they reached their reading goal, the second time I came, they got to put a fun goal on the car. So it was very rewarding and fun. And now I have great dreams on my car. Our car, sometimes they're super fun. These three little boys want to have a pig. There's three little stickers on the back of my car that say, I want to have a pig. Like, that's awesome. And then, like we say before, if you haven't heard us, Oola is simple, but it's not easy. And so some of the stickers on the car make your heart feel something, you know. One of my friend's stickers is on the car, and she needs a kidney. Another person's sticker on the car is to have a healthy, happy life. And she has terminal cancer, stage 4 cancer. And so you can have a pig, and you can go to Disneyland. You can be a doctor when you grow up. There's all kinds of aspirations on the car. But it's definitely my honor. You know, some of them say, I want to have a loving family. That's big stuff. I want to pay off my car. I want to get out of debt. So that's all of the different stickers that are on. I want to have a closer relationship with my faith. Those are all different dream stickers that are on the car and the bus and the Oola bus. So Kevin and I are honored. You know, it's super fun to have the car and people wave at you and honk and we pull over. But the other part is it just warms my heart. Somebody came up to me the other day and said, Darla, I was just thinking about it. I wanted to tell you I reached my goal that's on the car. That came true, that I put on the car at Christmas time. And it's only June. And I said, yes, yes, yes. That is what we're talking about. So congratulations. Awesome. Go get another sticker. So yes, that's the part of living Oola that we love the most.
That's right. So we, again, as we were collecting dream stickers today and goal stickers, people were saying, well, what is Oola? So we said, well, we got to go on and tell everybody what Oola is. Thank goodness, we have Dr. Dave Braun and Dr. Troy Amdahl, who are going to share with you right from their own mouths what Oola is and why it is called Oola. Because they are the co-authors of the book, Oola, Find Balance in an Unbalanced World. That's right. So we're going to let them tell you what Oola is because they actually invented it. And so we want you to hear it straight from them. And then we're going to talk about some things and what it means to us. So let's get started right away.
Hey, do you guys have a pen and paper? Because you might want to write some stuff down.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And I will put into the chat
somewhere
comments. Darla can put this in the comments of Facebook Live, or I will, and you can actually download this document. And as they talk, they're going to talk about answering questions. So there's 7 questions on here for you to go through. And we'll put the document in the comments of Facebook so that you can get to it. And then you can actually answer the questions along with us. Okay? Thanks, Darla.
Hi, Graybeard Coaching. I don't know if I know how to do that. How do I do that? Go on my phone? No. That makes it sound like a robot.
Don't go on your phone again.
Don't go on my phone.
Okay, so we're going to start with the Oola guys. So hold on, hold your horses. Here from the horse's mouth, Dr. Dave and Dr. Troy.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Dave, the Oola Seeker. This is Dr. Troy, the Oola Guru. We are the Oola guys, and we are so excited that you have joined us for this home class with your host to help you get started on a life of more balanced growth and purpose.
And reconnecting with your dreams. We drive a bus around the country collecting dreams.
So fun.
We've collected 27.
Kevin, you can't hear it.
Is get you caught up on really what Oola is. If you look at the definition, it's a lifestyle framework to help you find more balanced growth and purpose. But it's just so much more than that, because it's a global community of people saying, I want to live different. I want to live a better life. I want to have better relationships. I want to connect to my family more. I want to live debt-free, or at least not have the stress of debt overhanging on my shoulders all the time like a big weight. I want to reconnect to a faith walk, have more fun, and live more purpose-filled lives. And that's where we're going to start the process with you today of just working through that to get you started on really developing a system to help you find the life that you dream of and deserve.
It's a proven framework, and it's just time to stepping outside of life. We used to do this as a group of guys back in the day, and once a year, do what you're doing right now, just gather with friends and say, okay, where am I in the key areas of life? Even if it's not that great, but where do I want to go? And not losing sight of our dreams and actually finding a system to take action steps that move your life forward.
I learned the Oola Lifestyle Framework in 1997, a long time ago, from this guy, the Oola Guru. And he said, hey, you're gonna work hard in business and you're gonna work hard in money, but there's so much more in life. You really have to balance these 7 key areas of life. So I found myself in 1997 for the first time ever looking at my life in these 7 key areas: fitness, finance, family, field, which is your career, faith, friends, and fun, and saying, where am I and where do I want to go with these 7 areas, and how am I going to get there, and answering those questions. When I followed this system, the Oola Lifestyle Framework, I found success at a very young age. Married, kids, amazing family, beautiful house, great career, working on my faith, running marathons, staying fit. I found my Oola life. In around 2007, 2008, I drifted from these principles. And where I found myself in 2009 was I found myself bankrupt, divorced, and living in a motel. And I remember reaching out to this guy one night who was fully retired, married to his high school sweetheart. You met her in kindergarten. Your kindergarten sweetheart, if you can even say that. Married his high school sweetheart, and beautiful family, working on all 7 key areas of life. And I was on the bad side of town in the motel. And he said, you have to get back to Oola Lifestyle Framework. So I sat down and I started working on my Oola life again. What was my year like? What led to this? Why did I find myself in this situation where I feel so broken and so much pain? And how do I start working out of that process to move forward? And as I started working on the Oola Lifestyle Framework and get my own Oola life back, that's when we decided to share this message with the world. So what we're going to do today in this class is start that process for you of just where are you in these 7 key areas? How did you get here? What is your true purpose? And really start to uncover some stuff for you where you can start moving forward and living a life that you really want to live.
It's really about you getting to know you again. I remember when you called me from the bottom, when you were in that bad spot. And I remember saying where you are is simply where you are, not who you are. We believe you're designed by God for greatness and a purpose, something amazing. And many times we lose sight of that. I don't know if you've lost sight of that, but it's easy to do in this busy world. So the whole point of this class tonight is just to pull out some things and to get some information to make sure you're reconnected to your passion, your unique purpose. And I always think we're going to get around to it. I always think that, someday after the kids do this and after my job settles down and after this business gets to this level, then I'll start working on me. But I do this thing, you know what I do, but on my birthday every year I have 2 jars of marbles and a little display in the middle. And I'm real left brain, kind of nerdy analytical. And when I look at the stats in America, the average male in America lives to be 77 years old. The average female lives to be 81. I know only God knows our days, but that's an average. Like, we're not going to avoid it. Men 77, women 81. So what I started with was 77 marbles. And every day on my birthday, I didn't start this when I was 0. I started like in my 20s, but I would move over a marble. So I always have this marble with me. And on my birthday, I would move it over. And then when I look at these 2 jars of marbles every day, I see the years lived, the ones that have moved. And when I look at the years that I've lived, there's some pain in there. There's some success in there. There's babies born and trips taken. There's businesses fail. There's businesses successes. It's a whole life. And I don't spend a lot of time there. But what happens every year for me is every time I move a marble and the years left to live, that jar gets smaller. It creates a fire in me. It creates an urgency that life is short. And when I look at the marble that's on display, that's now. That's the year I'm living now. That's the year you're living right now. And it says, I don't control the past. I even don't control the future, but I do control this moment. And when I look at that jar that's year by year getting smaller and smaller, I say, what do I want for my life? Like, what do I want in the 7 key areas of life? And that's what we're working with you tonight on.
When I reached out to you from that motel and you were fully retired and living your Oola life and I was at the bottom, you said something very important to me. He said, where you are right now is just where you are. It's not who you are. Where you are is just where you are. It's not who you are. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know if you're struggling in a marriage. I don't know if you're struggling with your health issues. I don't know if you're struggling with your finances. I don't know if all 7 areas are great, but you want to grow more and find deeper purpose. But what I do know is that you're designed by God for greatness and a purpose. You have this amazingness inside of you. And where you are right now is just where you are. It's not who you are. So let's get started in the process. We're going to answer 2 questions in this class on your card. And as you answer those 2 questions, I want you to look back at your year and say, what are some of the highlights of my year? What are some of the challenges of my year? And this is going to start the process of you starting to work on you. Because again, where you are is where you are. It's not who you are. And you're designed for greatness and a purpose to live an extraordinary life. And this is starting that process. So what I want you to do is turn your card over, answer your first 2 questions. When you're done answering those questions, turn your card back over and wait for the host to guide you to your next steps. We're going to see you in section 2 in just a minute.
Dave and Troy are so awesome at this. Kevin and I went to see them.
Back to section 2. Now that you know,
they don't want to stop.
Kevin and I went to see Dave and Troy live, and we had been living sort of Oola because we knew about Oola and we had the books and we knew the principles and we were kind of doing it. But we soon came to find out we weren't really living Oola and really going through the framework. And when we went there to see them, this is one of the very first exercises we do. And it's fun and happy to go to Oola. And then all of a sudden, this is kind of heavy. So Kevin, what was your highlights of the last 365 days? Right?
Well,
These are the
besides being lucky enough to wake up with you every day.
Oh, geez, here it comes. I love you.
My highlight was when I went to the doctor after working on it for a year. So when we went to Palooza 2 years ago, I was overweight and diabetic. And I had been trying for years to get rid of the weight and lose it. And it kept coming back. Because when you lose stuff, you find it again sometimes. And so I made a commitment that I wasn't going to let myself down. It wasn't going to be a New Year's resolution. I was going to lose the weight and I was going to get off of diabetes medication. So I started working on that at the beginning of 2020 after getting coached from Dr. Dave and Dr. Troy at Oola Palooza. And we started walking. And we started walking not every day, but pretty close. And we started changing our habits as far as what we were eating. And I was seeing a little bit of progress, but I wasn't seeing all the progress. And when I saw the doctor in June, he didn't take me off diabetes medication. So in July, I made a decision that I was going to somehow do it and get off of that medication by December. And I really put the Oola Framework to work. And I started writing down on my 3x5 card that I was going to walk every day. And I made a goal of walking every day for 30 days in a row. I stopped drinking coffee at the same time. I switched to tea. And I stopped drinking soda at the same time and started changing my eating habits a little bit. And after that 30 days, I felt so much better and being off of coffee, which you won't believe this, I was drinking 2 pots of coffee a day myself. Way too much coffee. It was causing all kinds of havoc on my internal combustion engine, if you will. And so I made a decision finally to do that. And I felt so good that I decided I was going to walk another 30 days, a 5K every day for another 30 days. And I did that. And then I took a day off. But then I started another streak and I started doing it again. And so when I went to the doctor, he said, Kevin, your readings of A1C levels, you don't have diabetes. We're going to take you off that metformin. Oh, what a glorious day that was to have finally released the weight. Notice the difference. I just released it and let it go. I didn't lose it so I could find it again. I released it and I didn't ever want to go back to that. And being taken off of that medication I had to take every day, that was such an awesome feeling and definitely the highlight besides waking up with you.
You are so sweet, and I'm so proud of you for working so hard to change your life. It's really a big deal, and you feel it, right? And do you always want to go for a walk? No. But then you say,
but
what if
differently now?
You live differently now. And you guys, that was last year, but this year I'm pretty sure most days this year he's done a 5K. If he's missed 1 or 2 this whole year, I don't know, maybe, but he still has walked something, a mile or 2 miles, but most days he's doing a 5K every day still. He was out of town last week and he did a 5K. He was calling me. I'm walking on a treadmill. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, well, I committed to doing this and I know it's 10 o'clock at night, but I haven't had time yet. So he's committed. So that's one thing, is really being consistent will get you to a new place. And then he's coachable too, because he's changed his mindset on a lot of things. And you've heard him say, I didn't lose weight. I released it, or I let go of it. So many of you want to lose weight, but it never works, or it works and then it doesn't work, and it works and it doesn't work. So it's the way you're speaking to yourself and what you're really wanting. Okay. So that's a whole nother thing that we can help you with. But I'm so, so proud of you, honey, for really committing to your health like this, because I want to be with you forever and ever. And I want to go do fun things with you. So, very excited, very proud of you. So what was the biggest challenge from 300? So those of you listening, thank you, Joseph and Graybeard Coaching, and whoever joins on a replay, just tell us replay and tell us where you're from. Tell us what your struggles are if you guys are open to sharing, and write down what your highlights of this last year, 365 days, because it's really 365 days. We're talking all those days, what happened. And so what was your biggest challenges? Because you can't go through a whole 365 days without some challenges, right? Life happened last year for a whole bunch of people. So what was a big challenge for you?
One of my biggest challenges is ice cream. Oh, I love desserts. When I grew up in the Midwest, I was on the ABC diet. Apple pie, bread, and cheese. And meat, but we love apple pie, bread, and cheese at my house. And that's not a good diet to be on. It's not good for you. It makes you feel bloated and you just feel all old and cranky and all kinds of things. So I can tell you that's not a good diet to be on. It's much better to learn to eat nutritious food for fuel and not for comfort. It's okay to enjoy a nice treat once in a while, but once in a while, not every day. And I love Bluebell ice cream, and we would buy it and have maybe 2 or 3 different flavors here. And it was, what flavor of the night am I having tonight? And it wasn't one dip, it was 2 or 3 dips. And that just doesn't work. So we finally figured out we're going to leave that at the store. And when we want to have a treat, we're going to go have a treat. But it's not in our house and openly right there where we can just go have it.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. So lots of obstacles. Life happens, things happen in life. And it's not necessarily that you have a bad day. It's just that thing happened that day, right? If you have things that are obstacles for you, sometimes you have to make the big plan of, we don't carry ice cream in our freezer anymore. We just don't buy it anymore. So even when it's on sale, even when the kids are coming to visit, we just don't. If we need to take everybody out for a treat or get an ice cream, we do. Otherwise, we traded it up. We traded for berries and nuts, or we traded for a chocolate protein shake that doesn't have the ice cream and all of that, right? Or for, yeah. So there's ways to get around your obstacles. You go through them, you go around them, you go over them, right? So that's what Kevin's learning to do. And that's how we can help you get around challenges as well. Great job, Kevin.
Okay, thanks, Darla. Let's hear from the Oola guys and see what they have to say next. They're probably saying, Kevin, can you tell us to start? Okay, here we go.
Biggest highlights and your biggest challenge from the last 365 days. Now we're going to start moving forward. Now we're going to start looking at your life you're living today by starting to look at what are called the 7 key areas of life. Again, learned from the Oola Guru. But the 7 key areas of life: fitness, finance, family, field, which is your career, faith, friends, and fun. And what you're going to be doing when you're looking at these areas is saying, where am I in these 7 key areas and where do I want to go? I learned the 7 key areas from Dr. Troy way back in the day, like I said, in 1997, when he said, you can't just be successful in 2 areas. You have to be successful or work on balancing and growing all 7 key areas of life. Now, we have seen what has happened when people don't do that. Debt is out of control. Overweight issues are out of control. Marriages are falling apart at 53% in America and worldwide. And we're having a lot of people walk away from their faith walk, having fun in life and losing their purpose. So this is where you start to look at your life different, what we call look at your life through the lens of Oola, and saying, I'm designed for greatness and a purpose. I know where I've been the last 365 days, my challenges, my highlights, you've talked about them. And now it's like, now let's look at where I am today in these 7 key areas and start thinking of the process of where do you want your life to go?
So I think as the world is telling us that we're defined by what we drive, where we live, what we do for a career. And it's just not that way. When we study people who are the most happy, the most deeply fulfilled, they have balance in the 7 key areas, not just a ton of money, not just a great career. Those are important, but they truly have found a way to pay attention and be intentional with 7 key areas. I can't think of a better way to explain this than I was a little kid, little punk kid, probably 3rd, 4th grade. And I remember my dad taking me to the circus. And the circus is just cool as a kid in general. But there was one part that stood out to me. There was this guy who walked in the center circle under the lights with a table full of white plates. In front of him were 7 sticks. And he would grab a plate from the table and he would get it spinning. And I was in awe, like, man, how can he balance a plate on a stick. And he would grab the first plate and put it on a pole. And he'd go grab another plate, another pole, a third, a fourth, a fifth. And by the time he got to that sixth pole, it got really interesting because what was happening over here on pole one? Well, that plate was starting to wobble. And you could palpate the conflict in his brain. Like, do I grab that last plate, the seventh plate, and try to get it spinning? Or do I go tap pole one or plate one before it crashes and hits the floor? That's what we're doing. You and I and everyone we love, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, we're doing this every single day of our life. You're trying to be a great wife, a great husband. You're trying to be a good dad, a good mom. You're trying to make money for the family, save for the future, college, pay off debt, retirement. You're trying to stay healthy and eat right and be active. You're trying to have a faith walk and be a part of something that's bigger than yourself. You're trying to find joy, not kick it down the road, but have joy in the day. Have a quality group of friends that are encouraging and not toxic. And it's overwhelming, and it can be overwhelming. So this, what we're talking about today, is Oola. If you want a life that's balanced and you want one that's fulfilling, it's not one or two areas. It's all seven. And now that you're going to look at your life through this lens of Oola, you're going to start looking at your life through the 7 key areas of life. It's so important to visualize that you are balancing the 7 key areas, and you want to start to figure out where your stresses come from, where the overwhelms come from, what 7 areas you need to focus on more, where the stresses come from in those 7 key areas of life, and which ones you want to start working on for your future. What are you passionate about? What is naturally you? This is not what your mom and dad want to tell your teachers or preachers or neighbors or friends. This is what do you really want to do for your life? This is time for you to look at your own life and say, when you flip that card over and look at the next 2 questions, who am I? Who do I really want to be? Who do I really want to grow into in the future? And where do I want my life to go? All right, so flip your card over, answer the next 2 questions of section 2, and then we will be right back after you get done working through this with your host.
Okay, Darla.
Yes.
Since we weren't able to download the document at the same time to Facebook, we're going to just have the questions right here for everybody.
Well, that's good.
So what
That's
Oola
helpful.
F area causes you the most stress out of fitness, finance, family, field, faith, friends, or fun? It's probably fun, right?
No. For some people, it might be your debt. In my past life, yes, it was debt. In my past life, it might have been family. I'm consider myself pretty healthy, but fitness, I'm going to say, is I don't know that it causes me stress. It's just I put it on myself, maybe. So maybe that's it. But I am not an exercise person. If you take me to the beach, I'll play all day. If you take me to the mountains, I'll play all day. Take me to Disney World, I'll walk all day. I'll go the mile, right? But I don't have a gym bag or any of that kind of thing. It's just not in my brain at all. And so you all heard that Kevin walks a 5K every day. I walk many days. If I can get away with not doing it, I will. But my real reason to go for a walk is so that I'm healthy, so that I can have fun. So the stress is put on my own self. If I don't do this thing, what will my life look like? And if I do this thing, what will my life look like? We have 7 grandkids. It would be really nice to be able to sit on the floor and play a game, or get up from the floor when we age. When I'm 75, I want to be able to sit on the floor and get up from the floor. I want to be able to play. I want to be able to travel and go places. So for me to go for a walk for 2 miles every day is tough. And I think I put the stress on myself. If I don't do it, then I feel bad. So I'll say fitness. Oh, and also cooking healthy meals all the time instead of eating out is hard for me because I'm spoiled. And I like to eat out. And Kevin's very good at ordering. So those are I don't know that causes me stress. Maybe a little guilt. But
Okay, Darla, great
That's
answer.
the truth.
Which F area are you most passionate about?
Ooh. Well, Kevin, you know, if I ever have a list of my favorite, if you ask me my favorite anything, color, pie, movie, place to go, if you ask me any of my favorites, what's my answer? It's always more than one, right?
Yes.
Apparently, I don't really understand the definition of favorite. So passion comes the same way. So I would say I'm passionate about my family. I'm passionate about my marriage. I'm passionate about my faith. I'm passionate about my fun. I'm pretty good at being passionate. I'm pretty good at in the moment of what I'm doing. Like when I'm at my other work, when I'm being a nurse practitioner, I'm passionate about that. I strive to do my very best and help because I'm not just at work. I'm at work helping someone else that needs me to help them in that moment. And so I do my best to be passionate about all of my areas of life. Probably, yeah, that's my passion.
And she has fun doing every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
Great
do.
answer. Okay, let's see what else the Oola guys have to say today about Oola.
Hey there, and welcome back to section 3. Now you know which 7 key areas you looked at them, you learned about them: fitness, finance, family, field, faith, friends, and fun. You looked at those and said, why am I having so much stress in these categories? And you talked about it. And then you said, what am I really passionate about naturally? What do I want to do? And now you're starting to put your life back together. You're starting the process of seeing your life through the lens of Oola, which is great because it's going to help you find more balance, growth, and purpose. But there are these things, and they're evil things, and they're called blockers. And I know exactly what these feel like because when I lost everything and started working my way back, I had to work through a lot of blockers. Think of a blocker as that's what I want in my life. Right there it is. This is what I want for my family life, my fitness, my finances, my career, my faith walk, having fun with my friend circle, whatever it is that you're trying to go get. You're thinking about your life now in this through the lens of Oola, but these are going to stop you. And blockers are things that you've learned over the past, like guilt, fear, anger, laziness, self-sabotage is a big one. Envy is a big one. You've learned these. And now we have to start the process of helping you overcome and break through these blockers so that you can get to your Oola life.
Part of you getting the most out of this experience is being honest with yourself. Blockers are where dreams go to die. All of us have dreams. We all have visions of what we want for life. Do you know that only 8% of the people who set goals in their life achieve them? That means 92% of us don't. And they usually die right when facing a blocker. Maybe you don't feel worthy of success. Maybe you struggle with fear. Maybe you're straight up lazy. I mean, I'm lazy in certain things in my life, I know. Maybe you're carrying the weight of guilt from a past failure or a past mistake. But the cool thing is, if you can learn to overcome these blockers, the good stuff is on the other side.
And that's what we want for you in this next section. When you're ready to turn your card over and look at this next question and talk about it with your host and talk about it amongst each other, this is what we want you to do: is start to work through these blockers. Get real with where you are. Again, this is finding out what's been holding you back. And maybe it's more than one blocker, but find that blocker that's holding you back and start the process of talking about it so you can start to overcome this blocker and get your life. Remember what we said in section 1? You are designed for greatness and a purpose. You have this extraordinary life inside of you, but we've learned things from other people telling us, from other past failures, even from past successes, where we've lost our way when it comes to fear, guilt, self-sabotage, anger, laziness, envy. And we want you to start the process of breaking through that so you can get to where you want to go in life and live a better life of more balance, more growth, and greater purpose. So turn your card over, answer the next question for section 3, talk about it amongst a group, work with your host, and we'll see you right back in section 4, where we talk about accelerators and start to put all this back together. The good stuff is coming.
So these blocks are a big deal. Before we had all of the
Blockers.
tools, before we've had all the tools that we have now, I started Oola University with some friends and some groups, and it was going so well. And then they would just drop off. And then I would think, oh, they just didn't schedule it in, or they lost interest for whatever reason. But I didn't figure out till months later, they finally came and told me that Oola part is so great. And I thought you didn't care for Oola because you didn't come back to class. And they said, no, I just got to a point where I was like, whoa, I got to go work on this. And come to find out, they got put up against a block. And then that just stopped them from even finishing going through the rest of Oola. And I was like, oh no, I didn't understand. And so we are here now to help you get through blocks. And I have super great tools in my toolbox to help you. So please speak up when you're having a block, because we've heard a lot and we've been through our own blocks. So Kevin, what's one of the main blockers that you feel like gets in your way of living your Oola life, and your why?
I didn't discover it until just this year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really discover what the real blocker was. So there's a list of 7 different things: fear, anger, guilt, envy,
Mm-hmm.
but really it's self-sabotage.
It's a big one.
And when I first heard that a couple years ago, is like, what in the world is self-sabotage? I want to achieve these goals. Why would I sabotage myself? I know I'm not doing that. There's no way I'm doing that. And it ends up, I was telling myself secretly inside, even though I would make these goals and set out to accomplish these things, inside I was saying, oh, you're not worth that. You're not good enough to do that. Remember that time when you tried to do that before, when you had that dream to be a comic book artist when you were a kid, and then you didn't go do that? Remember that time when you got divorced, when you thought you're going to be married forever in your first marriage? And I thought of all those failures as just failures, instead of what I really learned that they were experiences, life experiences that were teaching me things that I wasn't listening to. And so then I was just rehashing all these failures over and over again, saying, well, you failed at this and you failed at that and you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that. And every time I would say I was going to go do this and I didn't have integrity with myself, I was lying to myself about I was going to lose that weight, and I didn't do it. And it was really because of self-sabotage. Inside, I was not affirming my belief that I was worth it, that God designed me for greatness and a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't giving him all the credit that he deserves, because he can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to change my mindset. And I've been working on that for the many months now. But self-sabotage was definitely my Achilles heel.
No, that's so good. And you're so vulnerable and amazing to be able to just speak that out, because there's other people that need to hear that. So I appreciate you. Self-sabotage is one of those that I believe breeds self-sabotage. And what I mean by that is, we all have negative thoughts that come into our head. And then we listen to that negative thought, and then we do the next negative thought. And the more we listen to those negative thoughts, the more we listen to the more negative thoughts, and the more they come. And that pretty soon is just showing up to be, I'm not worthy, I'm not smart enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not short enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not whatever enough, young enough, old enough, whatever it is, right? I'm not enough is what it comes down to. Cancel clear, because we don't want to believe that, okay? So when you're going through this process, it's so important to be open and let yourself be vulnerable, and let yourself do be coach, and be open to these changes that you're going to have. And we know that there's many of us that have been learning about Oola Life, and as Kevin said, we've been doing this strong for 2 years, but he just recently figured this out for self-sabotage, right? He thought it might have been something else. So give yourself some grace and let the time heal all of this, and we can help you accelerate and get through this process faster because we understand it better now. And when you tell us what your blocks are, we have ways to help you get through your blocks. And that brings me to my next question. We have accelerators in Oola, and there's 7 of them because we have 7 of everything. So the accelerators are gratitude, love, passion, humility, discipline, integrity, and wisdom.
That's right. Let's hear what Dr. Dave and Dr. Troy have to say about that.
Doing heavy. I hope you're doing okay. Now we're going to get into the accelerators. This is what moves your life forward. This is the wind behind your sails. So we started talking about your year in review. We started talking about these 7 key areas of life: fitness, finance, family, field, faith, friends, and fun that you need to look at. You need to look at these 7 plates you're spinning all the time and say, I am designed to have those 7 plates spinning, growing, and filled with purpose. I deserve that life. But boom, we ran into these blockers, and you started working through the process with your host of breaking through and overcoming these blockers. And now it's the beautiful part. You got the 7 key areas of life. You're starting to think of, where do I want these areas to go? What is my true purpose, my God-given greatness inside of me? Where am I going with this? And now what can I use to get you there faster? And that's called an Oola accelerator, like gratitude, love, passion, wisdom, integrity. I know when I was at the bottom, when I was struggling at the bottom, losing everything, living in the motel, I had a lot of blockers: guilt, I had fear, I had anger, I had all sorts of things I had to work through and overcome. And how I did that, a big part of it was by embracing the accelerators like gratitude, love, passion, wisdom, integrity, and dedicating my life to embracing those to help me push my life forward.
This is a lot. We get it. It's a lot to go through in a home class, and especially if you're really taking this process seriously, because you
better be.
You're forced to be. You're forced to be vulnerable. You're forced to just, what we're looking at with blockers, like, man, maybe I'm carrying guilt. Maybe I am lazy. Maybe I don't see my own value or my own worth. I mean, these are some heavy issues, but accelerators are fun. Like, accelerators are the wind behind your back that, like, hey, if I do this, if I did this in my life, if I dedicated the next 365 days to this one accelerator, my life would move forward. You know, for me, so we encourage you to look at these and pick one. Mine's discipline, and I always tell myself, what the lazy want, the discipline get. I know that if I wake up every day and take small steps forward toward my Oola life, then my life will change for the better. So this is your moment. This is your moment to look at your life and say, as I review the top 7 Oola accelerators, which one would bring my life the most value? Which one would move my life forward?
So what I want you to do is flip your card over. Your host is going to pause this video, and I want you to look at the 7 accelerators written in front of you, and I want you to say, which one do I need right now in my life? You just worked on the blockers, so which accelerator is going to move you forward and why? And then you're going to discuss it as a group. Your host is going to take you through that process, and then we're going to see you back for section 5.
Okay, Darla, what is the main Oola accelerator that you need to embrace to live a life of more balance and purpose?
I really liked that Dr. Troy says, what the lazy want, the disciplined get. I feel that would apply to me on some days because I struggle with, I'm a hard worker. I have a good work ethic, but I'm not consistent with my other businesses and my other dreams. I put them on hold. I'm good at that. And so I attempted using discipline for my word of the year, and I still wasn't disciplined enough. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is because we have 7 accelerators. You might have something else that works for you. And then I worked on integrity because have much integrity in the world, but to myself, like Kevin said, sometimes we don't have that true integrity to ourselves. Like I said, I was going to walk every day and then I don't. But then instead of getting back on track and walking every day, I might just spiral down and feel bad about myself and feel like I suck and not worthy again, right? And so sometimes you have to choose the right accelerator. So I figured out to use the accelerator passion, as we talked about before, because passion is positive and it's fun. And it's like, I'm passionate about this. And so being passionate helps me be more disciplined and keep my word to myself. I don't know. It's just how your mind works. So figure out what your word is or what your accelerator is, what pulls you, what drives you forward. And mine's passion.
No doubt about it.
It works for me.
That's right. It does. And I love it that it does. Okay. Let's hear about our next question.
Hey there, and welcome back to section 5, my favorite part. You just worked through the accelerators. That is my favorite part when we do Oola Palooza, when we do any of our events, we're writing in our books, when we're teaching this on the road in the Oola Tour. I love working through the accelerators. We just worked through my favorite part. But now we're going to work through what Dr. Troy really loves, and that's taking action and really starting to put this in motion by making an intention, setting a goal in one of the 7 key areas of life that you say, okay, now I know what happened in the last 365 days. I know the 7 F's of Oola, ones I'm passionate about, ones I'm really struggling with. I know these blockers that get in the way that are keep holding me back over the years. I now learned about an accelerator that's going to help move me forward. But what am I going to go get? Like, how am I going to take action and say, this is what I need to do? And that's what we're declaring in section 5 is one goal that's going to bring your life more balance, more growth, and greater purpose over the next year. That if you hit that goal, everything changes. We have seen these goals across the global community be losing weight, 120 pounds, 50 pounds, 80 pounds, paying off debt, getting debt free, totally debt free. We have seen this with putting a marriage back together, getting out of a toxic marriage where there's abuse, reconnecting with childhood friends, reconnecting with people that you love, really working on a faith walk again, having more fun in life, traveling. It's endless. What we've seen people say, this is what I need to do because I am worth it and I'm designed for greatness and a purpose and I want to go get my little life, but this needs to happen. So you're going to be declaring that now in this section.
You've learned there's 7 key areas of life. And this is that moment where you look at the 7 key areas and you reflect upon your life, the life you've lived, the life you want to live, and the life you're living in this moment and saying, if this one thing changed in the next 365 days, if this were the only thing that changed in my life would be radically transformed. And we're having you actually put a pen to paper, a pen to sticker. That's a commitment for you to think about this, really process what you've learned tonight and say, okay, what do I really want for my life? And take the time to write it down and go, okay, and commit to that. Because that's a commitment between you and you. Integrity is one of the accelerators, by the way. And that doesn't mean just keeping your word with someone else. It means keep your word with yourself. So make a commitment on one thing. This can be between you and you, or you can share it with the group. It's up to you. But what is the one thing I'm going to commit to tonight that if I did that in the next 365 days, my life would be radically transformed?
All right, so here we go. Now flip your card over. You got to see that question right there. Your Oola 1. What are you going to commit your life to? And start thinking and taking action. Now this is where you put that pen to paper on your card, and what you write down, you make sure happens in the next 365 days. This is your goal that you're going to go to start the process of really finding a life of more balanced growth and purpose, what we call your Oola life. All right, push pause on this video, relax, think about that goal, make sure you write down, you commit to, and we're going to see you back here in a moment for section 6.
All right, Mr. Kevin. I know that you have been working really, really hard on all different things in your world. What's your top main thing that you want to achieve this year and why?
So this year, I want to become full-time in helping other people achieve their dreams and achieve their goals and conquer their blockers and utilize the Oola Framework and accelerators to move forward in their lives and live differently so that they can experience the radical, amazing awesomeness that we have when we have been living our Oola lives for the last couple years. it feels so wonderful to release those things that were holding you back, whether it's guilt or envy or fear or whatever, or self-sabotage, to release it and let go of the failures and learn from them and move forward. It is so much of a wonderful feeling that I can't help myself but tell people about it. And I want to devote myself to helping other people do the same thing and actually live the lives that they were designed for.
That's beautiful. I'm so excited. You guys, I've been to a lot of coaching and conventions and self-development conventions, all of the books and teachings. And when I come back from them, I look at Kevin and I say, he says, what did you learn? And I said, all the things you've already told me. Could have saved $1,000 instead of going to that thing. Kevin, you really are like one of the best people I know ever in my whole life. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. Those of you who haven't had a chance to get to know Kevin, he's amazing. He is someone who lives what he believes, hands down. And he's the best coach I know. And I know a lot of coaches. I love you. I'm sure you're going to reach your goal. What's next?
Let's see what the Oola guys have to say.
Hey there, welcome back to section 6. And we're going to actually start working on you taking action towards your Oola life. It's a big key step. When people say, how did you dig yourself out of the bottom to get to the point where you wrote the book and get to the point where Oola started going globally? It was really by taking action. Where you are in the framework right now is, you know, the 7 key areas of life. You know the blockers that are holding you back. You know the accelerator you want to dedicate your life to. In the last section, you wrote down, this thing has to go down. This goal has to go down. And to make that goal a reality, to make that goal happen, you have to do what we're going to be talking about in this section, which is taking daily action steps.
So that thing you wrote down, I want you to look at that right now and think about one thing you will do in the next 24 hours, one action step toward that. That's how your life is going to be transformed. It's not some miracle, amazing thing that happens on some late night infomercial that's going to radically transform your life. It's going to be you waking up every day, taking small action steps toward that thing you committed to. There's a gap. There's a gap between those that want and those that do. And it's filled by your action steps. I remember years back, I was, I don't know, low 30s, and I was 40 pounds heavier than I am today. And I had like B cups, jiggly B cups. And I was just kind of turning into that dad bod. And I came to this point where I'm like, man, this is me. And I up at the lake in the summer, we go to the lake. There's a mailbox about a quarter mile away. And I tried to like jog to the mailbox once and I couldn't even do it. And I'm like, this is not cool. So it was that moment that I said, hey, I'm going to slowly jog to the mailbox. The next day I went to the next mailbox. The next day I went to the tree past the next mailbox and then around the corner. And 4 months later, I was able to run a marathon. Now that first day I couldn't do much. So I don't know where you are. If you're a long ways from your goal, that's cool. All we're saying is in this moment, we want you to start believing in you again. We want you to say, hey, I made a commitment to this thing I wrote down. And now I'm going to make a commitment to taking daily action toward that every day.
I'll do anything right now to go back in time because I knew when you had your dad bod and have a camera on that hill when your hands were on your knees and you had the shakiness in your body.
We all get to that moment. Sometimes it's financially, sometimes it's your health, sometimes it's your relationship. We all get to hands on the knees sucking for oxygen. Like, is this really life? Like, is this what it's meant to be? And it's meant to be so much more. We're settling for ordinary when extraordinary is within us, but you got to back it up with action. It can't just, it's not like a wishing well. Like, oh man, I hope this happens. No, you have to back it up with action.
Again, I know it happens to everybody. But what I'm saying is I wish I had a camera to go back to the dad bod days because I remember those days very well for both of us, by the way, for both of us. And go back, but that's where it all starts. Again, if I look back at the beginning of this, I was telling you my story of losing everything. It was 3 action steps a day, 3 action steps a day, 3 action steps a day. And if you do that over in 1 year, you'll take more than 1,000 action steps towards living a better life, the life that you dream of and deserve, the Oola life. So what I want you to do is I want you to write down 3 action steps that you can do tomorrow. Maybe it's tied to your Oola one, definitely some tied to this one goal that you just wrote, but also a couple of action steps on like, What can I do tomorrow so the day doesn't keep happening to me, but I just take control of my day and start moving my life forward? This is going to be the key to really unlocking the success you want in all 7 key areas of life, is by taking action toward it. So flip your card over, look at the section on your card and say, okay, what is something I can do in the next 24 hours that's going to be directly related to the goal I just wrote down, but maybe a couple other things that are really going to start to move my life in a better direction so that I can start having less stress in my life, less overwhelm, and start living a life of more balanced growth and purpose. All right, here we go. Push pause on this video, and we will see you back in the next section.
Okay. So Darla is going to talk about action steps for just a minute while I prepare a little special treat for you.
Okay, so this might be a little noisy, so you might have to turn your volume down when Kevin gets going. But 3 action steps a day is, if you do that for 365 days, 3 times 365, you'll do more than 1,000 steps towards your dream life, you guys. So just like Dr. Troy said, he couldn't run to the mailbox and then he kept doing it. Just like Kevin said, he walked around the block first and now he walks a 5K every day and he's lost weight and he's reduced his weight and he's doesn't have an illness that he used to have. That's huge. So many people, how do you get your health back? 1 step at a time, right? 1 bite at a time, 1 step at a time. So how do you work all this in? Because I still work full time and I want this other life. I want to have more things in my life, but if we don't do these action steps, our life next year will be exactly the same as it is. And so if you want your life to change 3 steps at a time, this is how it's going to change. So on my list is to share Oola with you. On my list for the next 24 hours is to have date night with my husband. You made the list, honey. Again, it's wow. Like this streak we're doing. And then my other thing on my list is to walk 2 miles a day, because that's on my list every day, because I want to be able to have a passionate life and be able to do all the other things. So sometimes it's really hard to walk 2 miles a day. I have to get up earlier. I have to get up a half an hour earlier because it's really hot in Arizona and I won't make it to work. When I go to work all day and I drive home and then it's meetings or coaching people or dinner and all of the above, and then it's so late to be able to walk. So I get up at 5:15 in the morning so that I can fit in my walk. So you might have to adjust your schedules or figure out how you can fit it in. And Kevin, most people are going to say right now, I don't have time. I don't get to do my dream life because I just don't have time. So what are you going to show us of how we can get our 3 steps towards our goal every day? What do you have there?
So this.
Hey, you don't eat Skittles?
No, I don't eat Skittles. I can't eat them. That's why it's safe for me to have them and not you.
Okay.
These
I'll eat them.
Are all of the errands and things like that you have to do every day. Mm-hmm. They're called Skittles, right? They're all colorful. They're shiny. You've got to get them done. They're calling your name to take the kids to school, go pick them up for soccer practice, to feed the dog, to go to the grocery store, to go get this, to go get that, to go to the dry cleaning, whatever it is. These are all Skittles, okay? And they end up almost filling our lives. Unfortunately, this is a day in the life. And so the important steps, we're talking about 3 steps here. We might get 1 step in, but all 3 steps, they don't fit anymore, right? There's not enough room in the day, so we don't get everything done. And we're not getting the important things done. Oh my goodness. So if instead we think about it this way, that these are important, these oranges are actually more important to do than the Skittles.
This is where you might have to hold it down because it's loud. Sorry, guys.
Sometimes these go all over the floor. So today we only dropped 2, I think. So we're doing pretty good. So if we take our oranges and we put them in first, so if we go walk in the morning and we get the hard stuff done, get it out of the way, do the worst first, then it's already done. And we don't have to worry about trying to do it later that night. Not everybody can do that, but if you can do the hard stuff in the morning and wake up a little extra early to do that, then you're great. I have on my list to journal every day. I've been journaling every day this year. So I'm going to put my orange in there that I did that. And then I'm going to also eat healthy, or I'm going to pay off that bill and get rid of a bill so that all I have left is our house payment to pay. You know how easy it is to pay bills and all you have to pay is the house payment and the electric bill? That's pretty cool. When you have a bunch of credit card payments and they're sucking your money away faster than you can pay them, that is not Oola at all. So if we do the things that are important first, and then we make sure that we have time for our Skittles. We still have to do the errands. We still have to go to the dry cleaners and take the kids to school and pick up the kids from school. Or take them to soccer practice. Or we have to fix dinner. And magically, it all fits where it didn't fit before.
Good job, honey. So that's what we do, you guys. We have a list of our oranges, if you will, and we still do all of our Skittles. But when we walk first thing in the morning or do our faith meditation or prayer first thing in the morning, and then we go to work and we work, but then we have a healthy lunch or we plan a healthy dinner, that could be part of what we're doing through our goals. When we start sharing Oola with people in the evening or coaching someone to learn this new life of Oola life, then that's one of our other oranges that we're able to do. And we feel good about it. And we rest well because we did our day, but we also feel good that we were disciplined and we were consistent and we were able to get some steps towards our life that we're striving for. So that's why we love Oola. It helps me a lot, actually.
Awesome. Let's hear from the Oola guys again, Darla. Oh.
Maybe. Let's do it one more time.
Sometimes they need a longer break, so I have to give
just
them a break.
For fun. Let's do it one more time, just for fun.
Hello there, and welcome to section 7, your final section. You made it through. Maybe it was fun, maybe it was challenging, but I know it's going to make you grow for sure. And I want to recap a little bit before we close this down. And I want to look at what we went through. You look at your last 365 days, the challenges, the wins, the highlights of your life. And then you looked at these things. You probably just heard about them for the first time, these 7 F's of Oola. And you discovered, man, I'm really passionate about this one, but these are causing me a lot of stress. And it got you started on the process of looking at your life in these 7 key areas, looking at that circus performer, balancing 7 plates like you're doing every day, and really starting to find a way to balance it all and keep it moving forward. And then we ran into these things called blockers, and you identified the one thing that's really holding you back and starting the process of working through that. And then the accelerators, grabbing onto an accelerator and saying, this is what I'm going to commit my year to, committing to a Oola 1, this is going to happen in the next 365 days, and then the action steps. The actions that you're going to start taking today, tonight, tomorrow to move your life forward and make sure that you're on track with living your life. The cool part is this has all been wrapped in an amazing community. So no matter where you are, if you struggled with this course, it was heavy, it was emotional, that's okay. Where you are is just where you are. It's not who you are. If this course was easy and fun for you, but in the back of your mind, you know, man, there's some stuff I have to do. There's some work I have to do in my life. Cool. Where you are is just where you are. It's not who you are. If you had this class and it was fun all the way through and your life is great and it's balanced, I understand that too. great, but where can you grow and push it to the next level? Or where can you reach back and help others? That's a big Oola principle, is if you're doing great in life, if you made it through some fires along the way, you made it through some challenges, this is your time to reach back and help others that are going through struggles and challenges in their life.
So as you reviewed what we did tonight, that's a lot.
I know.
Like we covered a lot of information just because we know and we're passionate about how transformational the Oola Lifestyle Framework is, but you just dipped your toe in the water. There's an entire self-paced, at the right pace, the right time, personalized for you path to a better way, to a life of less stress, more balance, and greater purpose. And that's called this Oola Lifestyle Framework. So whoever hosted the class can talk to you about that. But if you feel pulled that I'm settling for ordinary, there is something better inside of me, I would strongly encourage you to talk to that person and say, hey, how do I take the whole course? How do I dive deep into blockers and understand myself better? How do I get a better understanding for the 7 key areas? How do I really get to know me again and reconnect to my purpose, goals, and dreams that are unique to me? That can be done by the person who invited you to this class. There's also a huge community component to Oola. For you, it's unlike any other community I've ever been a part of. It's kind, it's positive, drama-free. It's encouraging of people, encouraging each other to live fully and achieve their dreams, even if they're different than our own. And that can be done. What if you are taking this class in person? I know it can be done in person or virtual. If you're taking it in person, there are 2 stickers. One is for you to look at that goal every day and take action toward it, to remind you what you learned tonight that's important to you and take action toward it. There's also a second sticker. That sticker is part of this community. We have this crazy 1970 VW bus, covered 27 layers in handwritten dreams, and we would be honored. We would be honored to add your sticker personally to our bus. And the collective energy of this community, of all of us becoming better versions of us, is how we're going to change the world together as a community. Because if that one thing you committed to tonight happens in your life, not only will your life become better, you're going to put off a light that's going to inspire the people you love to do the same in your community, in the world. And that's how together we can change the world with a word.
You're worth it. Simply, you're worth it. We said that right at the beginning of this class, is that you are designed for greatness and a purpose. You have amazingness inside of you. Don't settle for ordinary when extraordinary is inside of you. So as you wind down this class, thank your host, thank the people around you. Really consider, like, how can I take this deeper in my life? And like Dr. Troy said, if we're going to change the world, we are on a mission to change the world with that bus across the country, around the world, collecting dreams and saying you're designed for so much more, bringing the world together as one community, saying let's support each other, love each other, and be kind to each other. As we're winding that down, look at that sticker and understand what you write on that sticker. If this is a live class for you, that's one on the bus with thousands and thousands of other stickers from people around the world who said, I am designed for greatness and I'm going to commit to that. Thank you so much for joining us in this class. I hope you had a great time.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah,
as you wind
absolutely.
up? Just about the course. If you're considering it, like some people right now know that I want to take the whole course because I want to change my life. Some people are like, it's not a good fit for me. That's cool. But there's a lot of you that are like, I don't know. With a 30-day money back guarantee and a crazy, like, ridiculously low price point, and you can unsubscribe at any time, there's really no downside. So I would encourage you, if you're questioning, jump in. Don't put your toe in. Jump in and see if by you getting to know you see positive change in your life.
I love to jump in because that's even helping other people. And that's
taking action.
That's what we're doing in this community, is really helping other people through the course as well. So when you jump in and you say, I'm going all in on this, make sure you're helping other people along the way. And it starts by helping yourself. So make this about you helping yourself and then helping others. And that's how we change the world with this word, Oola. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Can't wait to see your sticker on our bus as we take that bus around the world and take your stickers and dreams with us. Until next time, be grateful, have faith, and go get your Oola life.
Okay, everyone. So as I believe we showed this earlier, let's just bring it back on the screen. That is the Oola bus that they're talking about, that they have taken all over the country, everywhere but Alaska and Hawaii. The bus is not aquatic, so they couldn't drive it to Hawaii, and they didn't go to Alaska. But they've been everywhere else. And they have collected 27 layers of these dream stickers on that bus. And so we are all in on this Oola framework. And we bought a brand new car, which you can see here with us. And we let people put stickers on it. with their dreams and their goals. So what I want you to know is we want you in the comments of this broadcast to give us and tell us what your goal is for this year, or what is your dream. Maybe it's something you made a New Year's resolution about at the beginning of the year. And after about 12 or 14 days, you said, well, I messed up. I didn't do it. I didn't make my streak. I didn't walk that day. So I'm going to give up and I'll wait till next year. Oh, no, don't wait. Start tomorrow. Start today. What in the next 24 hours are those 3 things that you could do to really move you and propel you forward to that Oola One dream or goal that you had that you really want to achieve in a year? So what are those 3 action steps? And I want you to know that we want you to put your dreams here in the comments, put those on. We're going to put it on a sticker for you, and we're going to place it on our car. And you will know that it is out there in the world. When we drive this car all over Phoenix and Arizona, it is going to be out there, and people are going to see it, and they're going to know that that's what you're working on. And they won't have your name necessarily, but they'll know that somebody is working on that dream. And it never ceases to amaze me how people are just totally in awe that we're allowing people to put stickers on our car, but then they think it's so cool when they find out what's it all about. And what Oola is, they understand that Dr. Dave and Troy have such a heart for helping other people. And you've heard us today, after we've been through this proven system, how it helped us, and how I feel obligated and Darla feels obligated to help other people do the same thing. So think about it for a minute. What would help you find more balance, growth, and purpose in your life? Would it be a proven system? How about a supportive community? Or maybe it's daily accountability. Well, the system is proven. We can tell you about all kinds of people all over the world, thousands and thousands of people who have utilized the Oola Framework to achieve their dreams and conquer those goals that had eluded them before. And we are building a community right now of people who are out there doing the same thing. And they are working on their goals. This course that Dr. Dave and Troy are talking about is now a digital platform that you can take the course in the privacy of your own home, and you can allow it to help you generate a blueprint designed for your life. You get to design your own life blueprint of what you would like to do. What 21 goals would you like to have? Or what 7 goals are the most important? And what 1 goal would radically improve your life? And you can do that. And so, well, where does the daily accountability come in? Well, that's where this awesome program that we have, this digital dashboard, I'm going to share it with you now. I think. This digital dashboard that allows you to track your streaks and how many steps you take, what your goals are. And you can get down to your goals and then your action steps, like right here, things that I've done. So we did our 5K walk today. So I can check that off my list, and it's going to give me 1 right there. And I can click on the button and get my goals again and say, oh yeah, I did my journaling. I get to check that off my list. And notice it's tracking my streaks. So we've had this program in beta for 17 days, and I've been working on it ever since then. So I did this challenge here today, and so now I've got my 3, and so now my number has gone up, and now I've got 18 days in a streak. So it's so totally cool. And not only that, you can do it on the computer, but you can also track it on your phone. So there's an app to do this also for you. And then you're going to get this Design Your Life Blueprint. You're going to receive a breakthrough experience. So, when we talked about breaking through those blockers, well, I like to I have fun when I'm working, and I work on spreadsheets and I analyze things and I have fun. Well, you know what? This Oola framework, this digital platform, figured out that I'm actually low in fun. And I need to have some more fun, relaxing times with my wife and my family. So my first lesson was about growing my fun. Can you believe that? So when I went through and answered the questions, that's what it came up with, and how to find balance and how to take daily action. So then each week you're going to get a new course that you can take with a download and more coaching and training from Dr. Dave and Dr. Troy. It is absolutely awesome. We are having so much fun doing this together. And I can't even tell you how awesome it all is. There really is a community of people, probably somebody that sent you to this page, to the Live Differently page or to our coaching page, and they told you about this. And we want you to know that you can do it too. I accomplished all those things last year that I told you about by a 3x5 card. Something as silly as that. I was carrying this around in my pocket every day. I was writing out a new card that I was going to walk every day, and I was going to do this. Now you've got an app on a phone that allows you to do it. I mean, it's so easy. It's so simple. Figure out where you are. Figure out where you want to go. So what your goals are in the future. What are your real dreams? And then start taking daily action to help you get there. It is an amazing, amazing program. And now I'm going to let Darla talk a little bit.
Well, the question is, what would help you find more balance, growth, and purpose in life? And I think that and Dr. Dave and Troy say, why live ordinary and settle when you can live extraordinary and live Oola? So part of sometimes people in Kevin and I's age group, they're content. We're like, yeah, I have Wi-Fi, I have a roof over my head, I got food in my tummy, everybody's happy and healthy, my job is fine, I'm secure in my savings account or whatever. And so we're good. And there's a lot of people we come up with too, and we say, hey, what's your dream? And they don't really have one. They've limited themselves to not grow anymore. So if you're in that category, I know someone really, really close to me that can help you with that. We've talked about that on other podcasts that we've done or webinars that we've done. But it makes a big difference in your marriage. It makes a big difference in your spouse when you just see them wake up and want more and desire more. And it doesn't mean that your life that you have right now isn't amazing and wonderful and full of love. But to see your spouse grow and know that it's okay, and know that it's okay for yourself to want more and to learn a new hobby or to have aspirations to do something new with your days. I think it's just it's extraordinary. That's my thing. So remember that it's less stress and growth, but it's finding purpose. And if you're already there in life, then share it with someone. And maybe that's what you need. Maybe another stream of income is where you are. So sharing this Oola life with other people can bring you another stream of income. Who knew that you could build yourself up, be stronger, be more balanced and have less stress in your life, and share it with other people and have a stream of income as well. So those of you that are familiar with Oola, maybe it's time for you to be an ambassador with us and share it, and you still get this whole Oola life framework and blueprint, and you get to create a blueprint for your life. And those of you who don't understand that, it's the difference between figuring out and having a plan and having life happen at you. Do you feel like you're like have life happen at you and you just have to like you're playing dodgeball and duck and having bad days? If you're ducking and playing dodgeball with life, then it's time to come visit with me and Kevin a little bit more. So we so appreciate that you're spending time with us right now. And then if you're new to Oola or haven't ever even heard of it before, then probably being a member is a great idea. There's no other thing there but doing this, living this life blueprint and figuring out how to get there. And then you'll have the support of the community, the support of whoever brought you to this video or Kevin and I, and we'll help you with it. You'll have accountability, you'll have a community, and you'll have this proven framework. And when you get serious and you really do this, your life will be different. You'll be living differently. And I have a feeling that most people who become members at some point will be so excited about it, they'll just tell people naturally because it's the coolest thing ever, you guys. So come with us. Would you prefer, what resonates with you the best right now? To be a member and get started with your Oola life and learn this framework and get familiar with this digital product? Or would it be more, does it resonate with you more to be an ambassador? Either way, we're here for you, and it's open. There's no shipping. There's no waiting for it to get delivered. It's just here. You can start. Don't be scared. Fear is one of the blockers. Don't be scared. What if you don't do this? What will your life look like if you don't start living Oola? Will it be like the same as it was last year? What if you start living Oola with us? Will you have vitality again? How would it feel inside to be looking forward to something better? How does that make you feel?
That's right. Think about that one thing that's going to radically improve your life that you wrote down.
Yeah.
What if that could come true?
Ready?
What if it could?
Set. Go.
So be grateful, have faith, and come get your Oola life with us. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.